Imagine a tale of two fathers, where one scholarly accolades tower high, and the other boasts no formal education past childhood. Yet, both thrive with bulging wallets, weaving perplexingly different financial tapestries. One's path twists towards a trove of riches, bound to be one of Hawaii's most opulent figures. The other, a grim end awaits, shadowed by accruing bills desperate for payment. Such diverging destinies hinge not on fortune, but on financial savvy, a skill shadowed and often absent in the halls of education. Left to the family table, a financial legacy is carved, and herein lies the crux. Unless your kin basks in the uppermost echelon of wealth, their teachings may inadvertently sculpt a future steeped in want, not out of misplaced affection, but sheer naivety. Regrettably, they lack the wisdom scribed in texts like, "Rich Dad, Poor Dad." I echo this narrative, guided once upon a time by the hands of modest means. My quest for knowledge led me to the revered Air Force Academy, where economics and investment strategies danced around me in a whirlwind of analytical complexity. Yet, a single volume from Kiyosaki's library imparted a treasure of insight that no academic marathon could match. Although I never knew a Rich Dad, my pantheon of financial gurus now spills over with the likes of Clayson, Hill, and DeMarco. So, for those of you not swaddled in the quilt of wealth from birth, let us dive into Kiyosaki's ocean of knowledge, grasping the rudiments of assets and liabilities. Cast away the cumbersome definitions hissing from accounting textbooks. Let's craft a lens of simplicity. An asset is your ally, whispering coins into your pocket. A liability, a stealthy adversary, slyly pilfering your hard-earned cash. The distinction couldn't be more stark, yet so often blurred. Consider this: the poor grapple with endless outflows, the rich summon assets like loyal soldiers to their side, while the middle class ensnare themselves in gilded chains, mistaking burdens for treasures. This is the crossroad at which many linger, mistaking mirages for milestones. Upon graduation's threshold, I could have followed the beacon of conventional wisdom, scaling the corporate ladder to a pay raise's embrace. This trajectory would be sprinkled with pricey indulgences, a sprawling abode, sleek cars, the latest in mobile wizardry. Yet, these would be masked liabilities, feigning as assets, each demanding their monthly tribute. The hard truth glares back: unless you pivot furiously towards genuine assets, your income, no matter its magnitude, will be shackled by liabilities and expenses. Your peers may envy your shimmering trinkets, yet your wealth will remain a mirage. It's not about abandoning your vocational calling. I've simply chosen a different battleground, amassing assets while others clock in. If your tale follows the well-trodden path of academia to employment, ensure your earnings are conscripts in your asset army, not sentinels for your liabilities. Eventually, a fortress of assets may liberate you from the necessity of a job altogether. Now, ponder the outcry when a business wobbles, a property falters, or stocks tumble. This panic is absent when purchasing the umpteenth television, a true monthly drain on resources. Here lies the wisdom: invariably, I'd choose to invest in the risk of a venture over the certainty of a languishing liability. Think not of the potential loss, but of the immeasurable lessons waiting within the journey of entrepreneurship. It is not the weight of your coin that defines financial acumen, but the ability to clutch it firmly in your grasp. Envision you're earning a monthly bounty of $1 million, only to watch it slip like sand through your fingers. Save for a single dollar. Partaking in such an exercise would be folly. The sage advice from my own father once echoed: become a physician, and wealth will follow. Yet, such professions often wrestle with the omnipresent specter of taxation, forfeiting their earnings till nearly half dissipates into the ether. We are taxed upon earning, spending, saving, and ludicrously, even in death. Strikingly, playing the asset game could slash your tax obligations to vanishingly small sums. And here's an open secret: savvy moguls like Buffett are experts at this dance, sparing them from taxes that dwarf those levied on their secretaries. I hail from a land reborn from the ashes of the Soviet Union's Republic of Georgia. To think I'd tolerate a modern iteration of the communist albatross, willingly surrendering my toils to those who prefer the comfort of lethargy and government stipends, is ludicrous. This, my friends, is the clever maneuvering of the affluent. And so, I'll indulge in the BMW fantasy, but on my terms, spur chased not for vanity, but as a chess move through my corporate entity. Corporations, you see, are not the towering citadels of brick and steel you might envision, but rather unassuming dossiers enabling the rich to sidestep financial pitfalls. As you march bravely into the world, armed with this knowledge, ask yourself which assets will enlist in your economic crusade. Before the closing credits of our time together, ponder the actionable steps you'll undertake. And, if the insights shared have struck a chord, know that your appreciation may take the form of a gesture in kind of testament to the value harvested today. For those ready to embark on this journey, subscribing to the channel, liking this discourse, and ringing the notification bell will be your first conquest on the path to prosperity. Now, I leave you with a simple query: what moves will you make to ensure your financial saga ends not with a whimper, but with the roar of success? Welcome, gentlemen, to a journey through the mind's intricate corridors, where human behavior, dark tendencies, and the will to act collide. Prepare to delve into a psychological conundrum that arises in city streets, academic halls, and chilling crime scenes alike. Today, we're dissecting the bystander effect and the shocking truth behind our inactions. Stay tuned if you're set on understanding why responsibility fades in a crowd and how you, yes you, can counter this social phenomenon. Why, you might wonder, does someone bear the brunt of a group project while others coast along? Cast your mind back to your own encounters with this frustration. Psychology points towards the bystander effect, yet this runs far deeper than just group assignments. First, unravel with me the essence of the bystander effect. This perplexing aspect of human behavior suggests that an individual's likelihood to help decreases when they are surrounded by others. The question then arises, are we less inclined to offer aid amidst a crowd because we feel someone else will step in? The roots of this theory stretch back to the 1960s, sparked by an event that would reshape our understanding of civic apathy. The tragic murder of Kitty Genovese, who met her end while dozens allegedly observed yet did not respond, spearheaded an avalanche of studies. This horrific incident exposed not only a city's heartless veil but asked if compassion was a rarity in our society. Media narratives at the time were quick to judge the witnesses as indifferent. However, social psychologists offer a different explanation, one that hinges on the concept called diffusion of responsibility. In essence, when we're just a face in the crowd, the weight of action is shared, diluting personal accountability. Imagine a robbery unfolds before a lone witness. The burden to act rests solely on their shoulders. Now, picture this crime unfurling in front of a multitude. The obligation trickles through the masses, and suddenly, someone else will handle it, becomes the silent chorus. John Darley and Bibb Latan conducted seminal experiments to tease out these hidden strings of human conduct. Placing subjects in scenarios where emergencies were simulated, they observed a glaring pattern: the more people present, the less likely someone would step forward. When alone and faced with the problem of smoke filling a room, 75% reported the issue. This figure plummeted to a mere 10% when individuals were placed with others who acknowledged yet disregarded the encroaching smoke. Fast forward beyond the veil of time, and it's important to recognize that the tale of Kitty Genovese's onlookers was more myth than fact. Nonetheless, this does not diminish the disturbing insights the bystander effect continues to expose. Take the heartbreaking story of Cassine Morris, teen brutally murdered as a crowd of witnesses did nothing more than broadcast his final moments. What then are we to make of these grim revelations? Cases like Kitty Genovese and Cassine Morris unmask an image of a society desensitized, where suffering is overlooked and empathy is in short supply. Sapping the bystander effect of its power begins with awareness. Knowledge of our tendencies towards bystander apathy can, indeed, propel us toward decisive action when met with emergencies or the everyday predicaments of life or teamwork. So here's a call to transcend the bystander threshold. When you feel the temptation to step back, to await another's intervention, remember you possess the potential to disrupt this cycle. Your actions could be the difference between academic success and failure, between life or death. As you reach for that like button and consider subscribing, think of the impact such a simple gesture of engagement can have. When you do so, imagine the lives you might influence by stepping forward rather than melting into the backdrop. I'll leave you with this thought-provoking coda. Reflect on today's exploration and ask yourself which actions you're prepared to take, not just in a collective frame, but as a singular force for good. Your contributions might just give rise to a ripple effect of bravery and compassion in a world that desperately needs it. If this delve into the psyche has left you richer in understanding, I invite you to express your appreciation. Any gratuity illuminates the value you've received today. Follow the link in the description, and until next time, stay perceptive, stay bold, and remember, you're not just another face in the crowd.